Good morning, and we're back on Shades of Green on KDWN 720. Again, our show is produced by Green Alliance, and I'm your host, Paul Ira. We have Senator Pat Spearman on the line, and I'm going to let her talk for a little bit. We got her cut off a little bit earlier. She was traveling to find a better location. Senator Spearman, you with us?
I am with you.
Thank you again for your time. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on our show. Thank you.
Well, it's my pleasure. My pleasure.
And tell us some more about this green energy economy and how the military and the veterans are making us a safer place.
Well, you know, I would invite your listeners to go to the website CNA.org, and that stands for Center for Naval Analysis. And they will find there a number of research papers that have been penned by either admirals or generals. So all of these are flag officers. And they're evaluating and talking about how their research, what the research means for the military. For example, when our military deploys, currently when we use existing energy resources, it's very difficult to sustain that. There is a there is a film that has been put out by the Truman Project called The Burden, and in that film they talk about the price of oil getting to our troops in the Middle East is about $475 a barrel.
Oh my gosh.
And I believe it's something like 8 out of 25 convoys was hit with an IED. Now, that number may be a little off. That 8 may be a little off, but I know the larger number was 25.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about that, that means that our military right now are guarding, protecting, transporting something that literally is getting them killed. Literally.
Yes.
And as I asked the question of someone on Friday, how long are we supposed to expect our military to lay down their lives to protect a lifestyle that we've gotten used to when we can do better? We can do better.
Absolutely right. Steve and I were talking during the break that it's an oil economy, and we need to get past that. There's so many things that we could do to change that around. So,
well, and not only that, you find out that money that sustains these terrorists. And I was talking to a retired admiral on Friday, and I asked him. I said, "Am I wrong for thinking that what happened in Manchester on Monday has something to do with our dependence on oil?" He said, "You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, because that's where they get part of their income stream."
Absolutely.
And they use that money to recruit, to train, and to deploy, which is another reason we've got to get off of fossil fuels. Now, here in Nevada, to bring it home, we import about $700 million worth of natural gas a year. Now, please don't hear this as trashing natural gas. I believe that natural gas is a wonderful product, and we have to use that as we take the bridge. That's our bridge from where we are with fossil fuels and getting over to total renewable energy. $700 million leaves this state going to buy natural gas. $700 million.
And that's just our state.
That's our state.
So
because we don't produce natural gas here.
And so when you look at all the states that don't produce natural gas, it's...
Yeah, well, it comes in on a pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the argument of opponents that say, take it a little slow, don't go so fast, we don't have to do all of this right now, I tell them, no. You know, my highest priority is doing what I know needs to be done to protect my brothers and sisters in arms. That is my highest priority. So don't tell me to go slow.
I agree with you completely.
Don't tell me to go slow. They're not going slow in Iraq. They're not going slow in Afghanistan. They're not going slow in other places around the world where they have deployed. And they need us to implement this technology all over the country. Don't tell me to go slow.
Well, I'm sure in the terrorist training camps they're not saying, hey, don't kill so many Americans this week.
Well, yeah, you know, and listen, when you stop and you think about the national security piece, And one of the chief of the Navy, and I'm trying to remember what his name was, said, you know, one of the greatest threats to our national security is our dependence on oil.
It is.
That's our greatest threat.
And to give people perspective out there, I read this one time and gave it to an electrical engineer, and he refuted it and then came back to me and told me I was correct. If you covered 7% of Nevada with solar panels, you could power the country. 7% of Nevada. Now, what percent of Nevada is standing barren with just desert out there and nothing's happening other than a turtle highway and a lizard highway? 7%, we could power the whole country.
Yeah, and you know, here's the thing. You're just talking about solar, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here in the north, there's an abundance of geothermal.
Exactly.
We are second only to California in the amount of geothermal that is available to us as a resource. All right? Now freeze frame. The other reason we need to be exploring and cultivating the resources of geothermal is because our only base load is natural gas, and it is not indigenous to our state.
So we could use geothermal to replace
and futures analysts have said as recently, I read an article as recently as Friday, futures analysts have said that right now the price of natural gas per mega BTUs is $3.13. But it is expected this year in 2017 to go up to $3.43. We can't control that. We cannot control the price of gas. We can't. But what we can control is our ability to move forward progressively and boldly so that we use our renewable resources and start weaning ourselves off of fossil fuel.
I agree completely. And for those who haven't seen it, if you drive around up north, around Reno and all over the area over there, there's steam literally shooting out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You can drive down the highway and you can look over and hear steam just shooting out of the ground. Capturing that and harnessing it would reduce our dependency on natural gas and foreign oil so much, so quickly. And it's just a matter of putting the technology in place that we already have.
Exactly. And one of the things that I think is lost on some opponents to moving forward with some of the bills, like I've got a bill 150, which is energy efficiency, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. And 146 and 145 have a bill that has passed that will allow low to moderate income people and many of our seniors who don't have the FICO score or the cash to borrow money from a clean energy fund at no interest or low interest. And that fund is basically sponsored by people who believe that we've got to protect the environment, and they're putting their money where their mouth is.
I agree.
Okay?
I agree.
So another reason to move forward boldly is that clean energy and renewable energy jobs are jobs that can help our veterans get back to work as soon as they come home.
Absolutely.
These aren't jobs that you got to make up. These are jobs that are available right now.
And they're good jobs.
Pay good money.
And they are good jobs.
They pay good money. I'm sorry, again?
I said, and they are good jobs. These are electricians and plumbers and carpenters and construction folk jobs and technical jobs and support projects. There's a lot of good work out there to be done.
Yeah. And so we just have to do it. We just have to do it. And I've had a team of folks here in the building that have just been invaluable, trying to help me lobby our legislators to get this job done. One more thing that I want to say is we have an opportunity to be selected for the Frontier Observatory Research for Geothermal Energy, and the acronym is FORGE. We're in the second phase now. The first phase whittled down all of the other people who applied, and now it's only Nevada and Utah. And with that observatory, come scientists, come dollars, come innovation. We will be to Nevada as MIT is to the country. We will be the gold standard for geothermal energy. And geothermal energy is a good base load. Geothermal energy doesn't need the sun to shine, doesn't need the wind to blow, doesn't need the water to flow. Geothermal, once you get it started and once you get it hooked up, it is there.
Now, there's basically no end to it, is there?
There's no end to it. Unless the core of the earth goes cold.
If that happens, I think we got other problems, Senator Spearman.
Yeah, that's true.
We have to break away here for just a minute and get a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. I hope you can stick with us, and
Yes, I will.
I hope our listeners will stick with the show this morning on Shades of Green. We'll be right back.